Guten Morgen and welcome to the real world. Tonight is Hoshana Rabbah, and we've come into this holy day other years with maybe more headspace to focus on the Veda, on the great days that are coming ahead of us now, Hoshana Rabbah with the second days of Yantif. And this year we have other things on our head, and there's so much noise and back and forth and clips and Yidden in the streets and Yidden hitting other Yidden and anti-Semitism and the charges and the noise. And part of what makes it also difficult is the feeling of helplessness. We don't even know what can we do. Common citizens, right? Where do we go? Should we go to shul? Should we not go to shul? Do we have to listen? Do we not have to listen? Does our fate lie in the hands of this politician or that politician, or of the guy who broke the locks in the playground? The playground guy? Is that really the Eitzah? I want to tell you that you're not helpless. Not only do I want to tell you that you're not helpless, I want to tell you where the help lies. Before Yantif, before Sukkot, I was working on an article for Mishpacha magazine on the singer Avram Fried. Everybody knows Avram Fried, the singer. So I didn't put the story in the article because it didn't really fit, but it's such a valuable story. When I was researching a little bit of the history of Avram Fried's father, his name was Rabbi Yankel Friedman, a Yid who was a hero. After the war, he lived for several years. He stayed in Europe and he forged passports for people, and he endured not just beatings but also imprisonment for his activities in trying to get Yid into freedom and out of hostile regimes. And one time he was in prison, and it was a tough time. He was being beaten up, and he felt like his life was in danger. And he made a promise to the Rebbeinu Shalom. He said, Rebbeinu Shalom, if I get out of here, he made a Kabbalah. I'm going to say, I don't know how many kapitals, but I'm going to say Tehillim every day. I don't know if it was the whole Sefer Tehillim, or one of the Yom Tehillim, or I don't know what it was, but it was an amount of Tehillim that he was going to say every single day. And this was a commitment, this was a pledge, this was a promise he made at a time of great difficulty. For him, he got out, and he came to America, and he moved to Crown Heights. He built a beautiful family. Each one of his sons is so illustrious and so dynamic. What Avremel does with his voice, his brothers, or all of them are doing with Chasidus, each in their own way, is carrying that torch so high. The Yankel Friedman was a manager of the Lubavitch Yeshiva on Ocean Parkway. That was his job. He was the administrator, took care of the building. One morning at 5 o'clock a.m., he gets a phone call at home that the building's on fire. So he's in charge. So he runs, gets dressed, runs, drives to Flatbush as fast as he can, and he deals with it, and the building is okay, but the firemen, and then the insurance, and then the safety, and then the students, and making arrangements for them. It was a full day's work, and he had gone without being ready. He got home not long before Shkia with just enough time. He hadn't put on tefillin yet that day. He had been busy all day saving the yeshiva, and then there was just enough time to daven, and he ate supper, and he forgot about saying Tehillim. A few weeks earlier, he had been looking into the purchase of a house, and he had written a letter to his rabbi, to the Lubavitch rabbi, asking for the rabbi's bracha and advice about buying the house. The letter came the next day. The day after the fire, the letter arrived with the rabbi's answer. It had been dated the day of the fire, the previous day. The fire happened on a Tuesday. He got the letter on a Wednesday. Dated Tuesday. The rabbi gives his bracha for the house. It's typewritten over. The rabbi would dictate the letters. The secretary would write it. The rabbi signs it. And then there's one more word in the Lubavitch rabbi's handwriting in the margin, which the rabbi wrote in pen. He wrote Tehillim with a question mark. Meaning, you missed your Tehillim yesterday. Did you say Tehillim today? On the day this was written, the Tehillim was missing. That's the story. Now, there's a lot in the story. There's a story about the purity and the vision of a tzaddik who's able to sense when Tehillim is not said. But if that's all you take out of the story, then you're missing at least part of the boat. There's something much more here in the story than the Kedusha of the Lubavitch Rebbe. It's the Kedusha of Tehillim. Because, a mother is able to hear a baby crying, whimpering in its crib from across the house, even though nobody else does because she's so attuned to it. And an experienced meteorologist will hear a rumble of thunder off in the distance, even if nobody else hears it, because his ears are trained and he's attuned to hear that. So a tzaddik is able to hear things that other people aren't able to hear in the realm of Kedusha, because he's completely attuned to Kedusha, so he can hear it. But the point is, a baby who's crying and thunder that's rumbling is real. Every Yid's reciting Tehillim is so real that the tzaddik can sense it. What we hear is that a chashav Yid, but a regular Yid, Rabbi Yankel Friedman, a tire Yid, like all of us, his Tehillim is so important in Shemayim that the tzaddik, the rabbi to who he is bound, can notice his absence. That tells you everything you need to know about what it means to say a parak of Tehillim. When a Yid opens a Tehillim and says a few words, look at the effect it has, that the Rebbe was able to sense it. We're going to learn on Simchas Torah, Shema Hashem Kol Yehuda. The Rebbeinu Shalom shall hear the voice of Yehuda. The Rishonim say what they say. The Rebbe, the Sifsei Tzaddik of Pilk, said, Shema Hashem Kol Yehuda. You know what that means? That means it was a request of a kasha from Moshe Rabbeinu asking Shema Hashem Kol Yehuda, that the Rebbeinu Shalom should always respond to him. Yehuda, David HaMelech was the Enikel of Yehuda. He wrote to him, Shema Hashem Kol Yehuda. The Rebbeinu Shalom will always hear to him. That's what you see in the story. And that's why we're not helpless at all. On this Hoshana Rabbah, the Shpizin of David HaMelech, there is something we can do. You don't need to come on to anybody else. You can take it to Hillim, and the Rebbeinu Shalom was in charge, and we should all have a good and kvittel.